I'm gonna start with some scary numbers. 1 out of 3 will have a neurological disease. That's a fact currently. And it's currently the leading cause of disability. And the second, according to WHO, second cause of mortality. A neurological disease is like a brain disease, Parkinson, Alzheimer's, MS, or much more than that. And then currently the costs are exceeding cancer and cardiovascular disease combined. So if we look, one thing that is clear is by looking or measuring how someone is walking or how they move their feet, we can correlate this back to how healthy our brain is. The way to move the feet is directly connected to how healthy the brain is and how the brain is actually working. What I mean by that is, if you have a brain disease like stroke, a Parkinson, a gait, these are brain diseases, but they reflect to how that person or patient is then moving their legs. If you go to a neurologist, as part of the examination, they will look how that patient is walking, because there's directly correlate the movement of the feet to the brain disease. And statistically, the dynamic is pretty scary. Specifically for Parkinson, that's almost at 95% will have a direct correlation and a gait disorder. So we are a spin-off from ETH Zurich, and what we have developed is the shoe I'm wearing. It has 2 computers inside the shoes, and it's correlating the movement directly to how is my brain health, literally. And it then uses AI directly in the shoe to stimulate. So the shoes can vibrate, and that stimulation goes and modulates my brain activity. So I don't want to go into specifics, but there are clear frequencies like delta, theta, gamma, that if you modulate those frequencies, you can focus more, you can relax. So by modulating the brain activity through vibrations, you can actually alter how the brain is doing. So to give a nice example of what that means is, this is a nice demonstration. This is a Parkinson patient. He's wearing our shoes, and the AI in the shoe is learning how he's moving the feet in real time. It takes a few steps to get the system calibrated, and then the shoes will start stimulating through vibrations. So currently, this is how this person walks every day. There is no problem in the feet. It's all in the brain. He's not able to trigger a step. Literally take a step because the brain keeps on getting stuck. Let's take it about Parkinson's. So you need him to do a circle to have enough data in the system, and then we turn on the stimulation, which is a gentle vibration. So here we go. That's instant.
He looks cool.
The shoes vibrate at the right moment, neuromodulating the brain, and he's able to walk again.
Oh, he's crazy.
I want to show you another example of a younger lady in her house going from the living room to the kitchen, suffering because of the narrow of the door, as typical also his Parkinsonian symptoms. So no stim, currently learning, then we turn it on. The shoes give that frequency at the right moment. He's just able to go smoothly through the kitchen.
How does the shoe know that you're passing the door?
I'll come to this. So the shoe comes together with a dedicated, of course, platform. We do a lot of processing directly on the shoe, so AI on the edge, but we continue the AI there on the cloud, as everybody does. And it's a medical device, RTA clear, NPR, and we're selling it together with a platform as a medical device to clinicians as well. So our business model is we equip this shoes as a system to clinics. Every major clinic in Switzerland has them already, and they use them as the diagnosis of every day. So the patient goes to the doctor, puts like a one-time sock, puts on the shoe. That's the standard test as they usually would do, but now we're collecting the data. And the doctor can see them on the dashboard. Then through the neurologist, we also then sell the shoes to the patient directly because the stimulation helps them walk. And the data that we're collecting, we can monetize that for clinical trials, for clustering of diseases. A bit of stats. So we have been using now the system for several years. We have some very known names, clinics using it. We have analyzed over 30,000 patients' assessments, and we have roughly now close to 2K shoes circulating at patients' homes. And we're further expanding the pipeline. We're currently here at this neurological condition, targeting brain diseases like Parkinson, Alzheimer, MS, dementia. We also have children's shoes currently, the same, just smaller. But long term, we see also working together with pharma, using the shoes as a biomarker where they do clinical trials. If here, Bonkers are the main founders of the company. We come board, we have a PhD in micro-robotics from ETH Zurich. On board, we also have Elvel, ex-director of Sonova, that's a hearing aid company, and Laura, with both having 40 years experience, and a very strong tech team. Alessandro, CTO, is one of the best students of ETH of his years. And the entire team is currently around 20 people, and we were also awarded the Swiss AI Awards 2 years ago, using AI directed on the shoe in real time. So that's it pretty much. So what we do, but going back to your question, how it works is the shoe is actually learning as I move, stimulates and observes what's happening. And that pattern is in a closed loop, so the more you do it, the better it gets.
How did you stumble upon something like this?
Sorry?
How did you stumble upon such an innovative idea?
So, it's not new. As I said, neurologists always look how the patient is walking.
Yeah.
That part, we are just digitalizing. The stimulation in real time to help the Parkinson patient, that's a different story. Yes, yeah. They're using the vibration in real time, that's completely on us.
Does your product also work on self-inflicted drug-induced, alcohol-induced?
Oh, yeah. We can do the trick. We call it the gait signature. when you're sober or when you're drunk.
First of all, I have just one remark and then two questions.
Please, yes.
One remark is I think my friend Céline Duzy in Lausanne was very right in introducing me to your company 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I believe that I was never in touch with you directly, so
Sure.
you know it's a good idea to meet. And I've always the first thing I told him, this is going to go far. Second thing, are those shoes waterproof? Second, where do you manufacture them, and what's the cost of manufacturing them? 3 questions. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm happy that we have common friends. So we're currently producing them in Europe. The hardware in the shoe is nothing special. It's a very powerful computer similar to a smartphone with some sensors, but it's all out-of-the-shelf components. What makes it special is the models, the AI models that are trained directly in real time. And cost of goods, I mean, we're depending on, it's like, you know, depending on quantity here, but we can go down to less than 100 USD for the pair.
One more question.
Yeah.
Would you be able, or are you in talks with people like Nike, On, and the sports retailers? Because I have a few ideas actually.
Not yet. Not yet, but you could embed this in any shoe. Any sneaker would work.
You seem to be rather in shape to me. Why is it you wearing them today? Is it purely for marketing purposes?
Yeah, it's marketing purposes, but these are my own, so I can really see when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm feeling happy, or when I'm even sad. The way we walk, yes.
Sort of, how shall I put it? It makes you aware of something that's going on.
So you can just wear them,
Yeah.
and it just measure you, and you can then look at the data.
Yeah.
But you can also switch on the vibration, and then depending on the mode. So the Parkinson patient needs to be able to walk again. In my case, I have modes where motivational vibration, literally you can modulate brain activity based on how the shoes vibrate.
I meditate.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the theta waves
Yes.
you mentioned
Yeah.
before and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. Are you saying that
Yeah.
this could be considered also as some sort of a meditation
Yes,
help?
yes,
Brilliant.
please.
You said that you have some technology in the edge, but you also do some computing on the cloud. How
Correct.
do you transmit the data through Bluetooth?
Both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. We have both channels in the shoes. So small data package over Bluetooth, heavy load over Wi-Fi. For example, we train the models on the server, we deploy them on the shoe over Wi-Fi, but on a continuous basis, it's Bluetooth. So it swaps all the time.
Can you use them during sports activity, or would you not recommend it?
You could use them. Currently, we're very focused on neurological diseases, making this a medical device, but you can expand, I would always say, further, lower, and have it as a sports shoe, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. This model that I'm wearing, you can also hook it up to a television. And I have an example here, and you can then play games in front of a screen. We are just using this.
You're going to have to talk to Nintendo.
So this is like, this is very basic stuff. So we have like, for example, so we're setting up stuff, and then, for example, very simple, they learn again how to do toe-offs. Patients that cannot do toe-offs, they're motivating, they have to look over the fence and then count the butterflies for children, for example. Very simple, super engaging.
This is fucking brilliant.
Can you do this remote control on people?
Yeah.
Would health insurances be interested in prevention or covering this complementary insurance, for example?
Health insurance and prevention doesn't go well together. But we have reimbursement for some countries, yeah, where the doctor can prescribe them and the insurance pays for the shoes, yeah. But not in every country yet, yeah. Please.
Are they waterproof?
So yeah, back to your question. So yeah, you can wear them outside in rain, but you're not allowed to wash them in the washing machine. They're sealed, they're hermetically sealed, but we wouldn't want to wash them. And the typical question is also how you charge them. You charge them wireless. They come with a little carpet. You just put them in the evening, and they're ready for a day.
George, can you go
Yeah.
into specifically the investment opportunity about how much, and some people might be willing to, I don't know, put 250K into a round with a bigger amount. Maybe that would work for you, maybe it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just jump into that.
So last year we secured all the certifications. So we FDA cleared. We have the MDR Class 2A certification, and we have now several distribution contracts for Europe, and we have Magnes Inc. also in US, and with salespeople in US. And until now, we have been privately, only private investors have been in the company, and now we're going for a Series A round sometime summer, end of the year. But we have a CL, convertible loan, open, so if somebody's interested, I'm happy to discuss that as well. We filed also 2 more patents by the end of last year. The extra gaming part, as we call it, so connecting the shoes to other devices, especially also connecting the shoes to other medical devices to communicate in real time what's happening. Look, spinal cord stimulation, brain stimulation, combined with the information coming from the shoes.
What is the most incredible thing that you have learned while you've been building this company about the human body?
That's a good question. I think what I can say is we developed this from zero, me and Olgach, and I'm an engineer as a background. So developing this, being a medical device, makes us really proud. But the reactions we're getting from the patients, that's priceless. So having patients, and that's what you see in the video, that's not an exception. We have that on a daily basis. These extreme responders that literally we just turn it on and they can leave the house again. That's priceless. Yeah. Thank you.